Hello and welcome to today's wealth management webinar, The Future of Advice, Intelligent Signals for Home Offices, Advisors, and Consumers. Big thank you to Yodlee for making this webinar possible today. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Shannon Rossick, and I'm the Director of WealthStack Content Solutions at wealthmanagement.com, and I will be your moderator and host for today. And in a moment, I promise we'll get to the good stuff, but just a few housekeeping items to run through so you can get the most out of today's event. To improve your viewing and listening experience, you can actually move your webcast windows around by dragging on the title bar or even resize them by clicking on the lower right corner. And at the bottom of your screen, you'll find multiple application widgets, and clicking on these icons will allow you to open and close the widgets on your screen, but do not worry, they will not remove you from the event. For those of you that are interested, a copy of today's slide presentation is available for download in that resource list widget, and that is also located on the bottom of your screen. For those of you that are interested in CE credit, this webinar has been accepted for 1 CE credit hour towards the AEP designation program, and Investments in Wealth Institute has accepted this program for 1 hour CE credit towards CIMA, CPWA, CIMC, and RMA certifications. And all the instructions that you need for credit submittal are also available in that resource list widget. So please check that widget out. A lot of information there. As always, we welcome questions about our topic, and we'll answer as many as we can during and following the presentation. But feel free to submit yours into the queue at any time. Just submit it and type into the Q&A window on the left-hand side of your screen and smash that submit button. We'll be able to see it. And if you're like me and you're into emojis, we invite you to share your reactions to the presentation today. You can just click on that reaction widget located on the toolbar at the bottom of your screen. And final note, as always, this session is being recorded and will be available for on-demand viewing following the event today. All you have to do is log in using the same URL that you're using today. Like I said, I've talked a lot now. Now it's to the good stuff. I'm excited to introduce today's speakers. We have Gerard Kasha, the Director of Strategic Client Partnerships at Yodlee, and Suhas Xavier, Director of Data Science and Analytic Products at Yodlee. And you can find out more information about our speakers by clicking on that speaker bio widget at the bottom of your screen. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. Gerard, Suhas, the floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thanks everyone for joining today. I want to special thanks to Shannon and the wealth management team for hosting us. Hi everyone, my name is Gerard Kasha. I am the Director of Strategic Partnerships here at Yodlee, and I work with the leading wealth, banking, and fintech firms to power digital experiences for home offices, advisors, and clients. I spent nearly 2 decades in financial services, much of it in the trenches with advisors. I'm a longtime blockchain enthusiast and vibe coder extraordinaire. It's an incredibly exciting time for our financial system, and we're confident what we're sharing today sets a new standard for firms across the industry. So thanks for joining.
Hey everyone, this is Suhas. I'm so sorry, you'll have to bear with my voice. I just lost my voice today. Suhas Xavier, I lead the data science and analytics products over at Yodlee, and particularly the wealth portfolio. I've been in the whole data science space for the last 15 years, half of which has been in the wealth management space. I'm really excited to walk you all through the whole suite of products that we have at Yodlee. All right, with that, I'm just going to get started. And again, please, if it gets too raspy, please let me know, and I'll just hand it over to Gerard, and I'll avoid the pain of having to go through this entire thing. All right, before I get started, Shannon, again, thank you so much for introducing us. I know on your WealthStack podcast, you have a whole segment on stats, and I figured, why not start with that today?
Love the shout out. Thank you.
Absolutely. I figured I'll probably start out with a bunch of stats, right? Yodlee today is the connectivity platform of choice for over 59 million users across the country. That is almost 1 in 5 adults, more than 1 in 5 adults, trust Yodlee to connect and move their assets. That's a pretty good number, right? So how did we get here, right? How over the last 25 years, which is honestly far longer than most fintech firms have been around, we've managed to build a really robust connectivity ecosystem in this industry, right? So when you think about it, these last 25 years, that longevity, that really matters because it means we've had the time to refine, to innovate, and earn the trust of industry leaders. And you actually see that in action today because seven of the 10 wealth firms, top 10 wealth firms in the country, they choose Yodlee as the preferred connectivity partner. 10 of the top 15 broker dealers rely on us to help clients aggregate more assets. 14 of the top 20 banks use Yodlee today for secure and reliable connectivity. When you think about it, that's not just adoption, that's industry leadership. Right? Now, all of this trust and partnership, it actually results in a comprehensive network that's over $4.5 trillion in de-identified networks, de-identified assets that we have on our network. And this 4.5 trillion is not just focused on a few types of products. We have hundreds, 111 to be precise, investment and retirement products that we have on a network today. For reference, this 4.5 trillion is almost 1/10 of the entire US equity market. And that is the kind of scale we're talking about here at Yodlee. Right? So how do we do this? Like, how do we earn the trust of the best and the largest institutions and have firms make Yodlee their premier connectivity partner? Well, that's pretty simple. You just build an end-to-end comprehensive ecosystem for connectivity. And that's essentially all that we've been doing for the last 25 years. So when you think of the connectivity ecosystem, the first step is aggregation, right? What we call the discovery phase. Now, this is where clients link their accounts through our service. And our particular service today connects over 19,000 different sites. Now, this particular portion, the aggregation piece, it's really critical because it is the entryway into the whole connectivity journey. This is where advisors and enterprises get a true 360-degree view of a client's final financial picture. So that's the first part. But then again, just knowing where your clients have an account is not enough. You also need to provide a pathway for clients to move cash and assets between these accounts. And that's the next piece of the connectivity ecosystem. Again, I love dropping numbers. On an average today, we process over more than 2 million account verification requests each month, right? And that's enabling secure and seamless asset movement. Now, once accounts are linked and the pathways are established, the next key piece is providing clients with a consolidated view of all of their accounts and activity in one single place. Now, we do that today through an extensive marketplace of personal financial management tools, our PFM apps that we call. So these PFM apps, they cover budgeting, benchmarking, bill tracking, planning, and a lot of these, right? And so when you think about it, when you have all of this data, again, 4.5 trillion in network assets, and more than $1 billion in trades every single month, you're in a strong position to serve up actionable insights, right? Insights that benefit not just the advisor, but enterprises and eventually the end investor. Basically, what we're doing is we are transforming connectivity into intelligence. And that is something that we are really, really excited about. And so on this webinar today, we will introduce you to Advisor Insights, one of our flagship products that actually drives intelligence and that is completely focused on held away assets. And I'm going to stop here. Shannon, do you think we can probably kick it over to an audience poll?
Absolutely. So we're going to check to see if you all are paying attention in this presentation. So if you turn your attention right now, we do have a poll for you around how do you currently track your clients' held away assets. So please go ahead and select your answer and then we'll present the findings here. But while we're actually waiting for this, maybe you could get into how what makes Yodlee's Advisor Insights approach stand out from the rest, and then we'll show the results here.
Well, that's a great question, Sean. So I'm sure you know this, that there's a lot of insight services that we have in the industry today. Now, when you think of insight services, the conventional service or platforms and tools, they are designed today to be an advisor assistant. Right? They typically come into play only when an advisor has overlooked or missed something. Now, for instance, you may see insights that might flag a client that has done, a client that has done 58 and a half and needs to start thinking about their RMDs, right? The required minimum distributions. Or these insights, they might highlight a portfolio that's over-indexed to a particular sector, or if there's a lot of cash sitting idle in an account. All of these are useful, no doubt, right? But essentially, all these insights do are they plug gaps in advisor activity. To be honest, all of these insights, they tend to be reactive, but not proactive. That's where our Advisor Insights product tends to be fundamentally different. Now, instead of focusing only on what's held in an advisor's book of business, we focus on everything that sits outside the enterprise or the advisor's direct management. We take all of those insights and we serve it up in crisp summaries, and we focus each of these insights on three critical dimensions. The first focus is what are these assets, right? Where are these assets actually held? That's the first component. The next component is how are these assets performing, right, compared to their current managed portfolio? And most importantly, the third key dimension is how do you bring these held away assets in-house so that they can actually be better managed and integrated? And honestly, if you think about it, it's not just about business growth. It's actually fulfilling the fiduciary duty of an advisor, right? That is ensuring that your clients receive advice that considers their entire financial picture, not just the slice that happens to be visible within the enterprise. And this whole piece of trying to bring everything together in one single place to create that 360 view, that's what we call, or we refer to as hyper-personalization. And G, I'm going to hand it over to you. Do you want to talk through the whole concept of hyper-personalization at Yodlee?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Well, let's take a moment to discuss why hyper-personalized advice matters. The reality is that you don't wake up and think, I need to call my advisor, right? You wake up to life, bonus hits your bank account, opening a new 529 for a newborn, 401k contributions pause because you've changed jobs. Your crypto position doubles, or in the current market, it's cut in half. An inheritance arrives. These are the moments that really matter. They're moments that when financial decisions need to happen right now, not six months from now in an annual review. And we know that that's a challenge, right? Your advisor sees maybe 50 to 60% of what's actually happening in your financial life. And the other 40 to 50%, your external brokerage, that 401k from your last job, your crypto holdings, real estate, that really sits invisible. So that bonus, well, your advisor doesn't know about it. They can't provide any guidance, advice, how to best optimize on strategies with it. That life event, they'll discover it by accident or worse, not at all. This is really where, as Suhas mentioned, hyper-personalized advice closes the gap. For clients, it means that your advisor knows when something changes. They reach out to you at the right moment, not when it's too late and it's too late to perform an action or a decision on. You get timely guidance on decisions that matter. You can act faster on gaps in your plan because your advisor has the full picture. If we step back and look at it from a home office and advisor perspective, it's about intelligence. It really is about signals. These are events that are buried in that 40 to 50% of client data that tell you something important just happened. A large inflow, a major allocation shift, an income change. These are not noise. These are signals that your client needs you and that they're happening in real time. That is really the shift from reactive to truly an anticipatory advice, right? I'll say that again, anticipatory advice. And that's why hyper-personalization isn't just a nice to have. Really, we see this as the foundation of modern wealth management. You're an advisor. Imagine it's Tuesday morning. You see Mr. Johnson change jobs. The Garcias linked a new 529 account. Tom moved $50,000 into crypto. You don't wait for your annual review. You act today. That moment, that timing, that is what we consider intelligence. That's exactly what Yodlee Advisor Insights was built to deliver. Near real-time visibility into your complete financial picture so that advisors can bridge the gap between what they see and what's actually happening. And again, and a key, and more importantly, be there for moments that matter the most. And that's really what exactly what Suhas is going to walk you through. Suhas, if you don't mind, we can jump into Advisor Insights and roll away the curtains and show the magic.
Awesome. All right. At a high level, this is just how the whole Advisor Insights product works. Sorry. Like I mentioned earlier, we track on an average over $1 billion in trades in our network every single month. And this is spread across hundreds of different investment and retirement products. So essentially what we do is we analyze every single de-identified transaction across both the wealth and the retail accounts. So your investment accounts, your retirement accounts, your retail accounts, every single transaction is analyzed. Obviously, most everything is de-identified. Once we analyze these accounts, we dissect them, we segment them, and then we rank each of those transactions based on their relative impact. And once you do these two things, then we serve them up to an advisor or a home office in an easy to read summary. Often it's just a sentence or two that gives an advisor everything that they need in terms of an actionable insight. And like Gerard mentioned earlier, most of this are near real time that an advisor can use almost immediately. We've reached a point today where we serve over 100,000 plus insights every single day. And these insights, they cover a broad range of topics. Right? You have insights that focus on large inflows or outflows. Right? To Gerard's point earlier about a large bonus hitting your account, those are the ones that we track. We focus on significant trades or large allocation changes that an advisor must be made aware of. We focus on unusual or noteworthy debt activity that may possibly spill over to the investment side. We focus on employment changes, gaps in 401k contribution changes, and so on. Right? And that's just the tip of the type of insights that we generate today. Now, each of these insights, we distill them into a crisp summary that helps an advisor quickly understand what's happening and take action. The result of this is exactly like Gerard mentioned, a very personalized, proactive advisor-client experience. Now, what you'll notice when advisors have started using this portal and this platform is that they're not just being reactive to what's happening in their book of business. They're actually anticipating the needs. I love the choice of words that Gerard had about being anticipatory. You're not just anticipating needs, you're spotting opportunities. You're strengthening that relation that you have with your clients, and you're showing them that you as an advisor, as a home office, at an enterprise, you understand your client's full financial picture. I'm going to stop talking now. G, I'm going to hand it over to you if you can walk us through some sort of use case for Advisor Insights today.
And can I jump in real quick with an audience question? If Suhas, if you want to spare your voice, I'll pick on Gerard here for a minute. But the question was, would this help me with finding new clients or to get information on my current clients?
That's a really good question. So this is about connectivity. So you'll have your book of business, and then you'll have your users say, Sally Smith, she's already a client of yours. She links her outside accounts, her held away institutions. So it's ideally for current clients, but you'll see later on that what's going to happen is the effects of this are going to ultimately increase your referral count sizably. There are some pieces we'll talk about that kind of talk about that flywheel of trust a little further, with the level of advanced notice and advanced planning that you can do with your client. But that's a really good question. Yeah, to answer it, it's really looking at your current book, but however, there's a lot of kind of connections that open up opportunities after the fact for new clients.
Thanks for letting me put you on the spot. All right, turning it back to you for some real world use cases on Advisor Insights.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got one here, but we've got a plethora of them. You know, your imagination is the limits, to be frank with you. So we'll walk through an example here. So imagine this scenario. Mike is a client of one of our partner firms, changed jobs 3 months ago. In the process, his contributions to his old 401k naturally paused. From his advisor's perspective, looking at Mike's managed accounts, nothing's changed. It's all quiet on the home front, so they assume everything is fine. But here is what they're missing. That pause in contributions is a signal. It is an event. It's a life event. It's a moment that matters. You're going to hear that from me a lot today, moments that matter. And that's exactly what Advisor Insights caught. Now, if we look at this from the advisor level, it's Monday morning. Mike's advisor logs into their client management system, the same portal they use every day, and there's a new section, this week's Insights. And right there at the top, Mike's paused 401k contributions 10 days ago, likely job change. The advisor picks up the phone. Hey, Mike, how you doing? What do you think of that game last night? So, hey, look, it's been a few months since we last caught up. I'm headed to your side of town next week and wanted to see if you want to grab some coffee. We can do a quick check-in to see if there have been any updates to your financial plan. And let's make sure we're optimized according to the goals we've laid out in your plan. Mike, the client, wasn't planning to think about his 401k this week, but now his advisor is proactive, going back to what Suhas mentions there, it's anticipatory. The advisor is contextual, helpful, and Mike feels seen. And suddenly, the advisor just brought a previously invisible asset into their purview for a focused conversation. So if you think about this, imagine having this kind of insight every Monday morning when you walk into the office and take a look. It's the best way to engage with your clients and truly help them in that mission-driven approach. It's not just for Mike, but for 20 or 30 other clients in different transitions, right? Life stages. That is how you shift from reactive to truly anticipatory advice. Now, if we take a moment, let's look at this from Mike's perspective, right? Let's consider if the firm that Mike's a client of directly sends the insight to Mike in his portal app. Mike comes in, opens up his phone or jumps on his laptop. He gets a message through his firm's portal or app. Hey, Mike, we notice you're no longer contributing to your 401k from your previous employer. This typically signals a life event, and we want to make sure that you're thinking it through. These moments are exactly when you benefit the most from talking with your advisor about your options. Ready to connect? Maybe there's a little button there that allows him to reach out directly to advisor to schedule an appointment. But that nudge does two things. Firstly, it empowers the client. Mike may not have thought to reach out. He now feels seen by someone that's paying attention to his financial life. And he also feels understood, and he takes action. Second, from an organization, for the organization and for the advisor, it creates inbound demand, organic at that. Clients are proactively reaching out because they know their firm sees them, and they're experiencing real value in real time, and they're not waiting for that annual meeting, right? That is going to initiate that connection. So why does all of this matter? Mike's just one example, but you multiply a lot of the signals Suhas previously talked about across thousands of clients, right? A signal, pause 401k contributions, great opportunities for conversations leading to rollover conversations, plan updates, consolidated opportunities. If we look at large inflows, inheritance conversations, bonus, severance planning, could be large inflows or outflows for that matter, right? So risks there as well. Crypto might have a little red flag on your profile, risk profiling, kidding, and diversification discussions for sure. New account linking, employment changes, each of these moments is a signal, and each moment is an opportunity to be proactive, contextual, and genuinely helpful. This is really the shift from wondering what's happening to knowing what's happening. And again, we say this, that is anticipatory advice. That's what advisor insight enables. And this is just one example. There are countless more. I mentioned there that the use cases are really the limit of your imagination and how you can better engage with your clients. So really the question becomes, how do you deliver these insights as a firm to all your advisors in a way that fits their current workflow so that it doesn't just feel like another tool? Because I can tell you they're not wanting any more tools. I think maybe on that note, Shannon, I think we've got a poll that's good timing on that.
Absolutely. All right, audience, we have pop quiz again. Would love for you to answer these questions. We are interested in how your firm is delivering insights to advisors today. So is it through manual reports, or do you have a standalone dashboard that you're maybe using? Maybe you already have it embedded into your workflows, or maybe you're not and you haven't started dabbling with that yet. So please answer the poll on the screen, and we can discuss the findings here in a little bit. I should say, Gerard or Suhas, what are your hopes for this poll that you would like to see?
I think Salesforce is pretty flexible. What do you think, Suhas?
Yeah, I was going to say definitely CRM systems. That's our experience so far.
Yeah.
All right. Give folks about another 20 seconds or so. Please answer honestly. But no shame either way, because it's to me, it's encouraging because we are seeing a lot of folks kind of head in that direction where they are embedding their workflows and realizing that this is such a strong value prop for their business. So I sure, coming from Yodlee, it's hopefully what we'll see here then is people heading in that direction and being excited about resources and solutions like this for their advisors.
Actually, to be honest, Shannon, if it's not C, I'm almost willing to bet that D is a good follower or runner.
That's probably right.
At least in my conversations, I'm not seeing a lot of firms that do that.
Well, moment of truth then. Here we go. Let's check out the results real quick. All right, let's see. Okay, so there you go. C is currently leading, so that's certainly encouraging. But again, about 28% of respondents did say they aren't, which means they're thinking about it. Hence why they're on listening to the experts here. But thank you, audience, for indulging us.
Awesome. The reason I think this, I know we talk about this a lot, the delivery piece, and to be very honest. Building out this entire platform was relatively simple, but it was the delivery part that taught us a lot. To be very, very honest, the story behind the current delivery structure of Advisor Insights, it's actually something that we're really proud of and we love talking about because a portion of it is really a testament to our agility, right? Being lockstep with our clients and trying to understand their needs better. When we first started building out the whole Advisor Insights platform, it certainly was not in isolation, right? We pitched the idea to some of our closer clients. We gathered their feedback, promptly made changes, and that whole collaborative process led to that first version, that the whole V1 of Advisor Insights, a portal that kind of gave advisors visibility into held away assets. Now, the response that we got was overwhelmingly positive. I'm super glad about it. However, there's always a however, right? There was one consistent theme that we heard in the feedback. And it was always this. Advisors already have multiple portals and platforms that they have to deal with every single day. Planning tools, CRMs, trading systems, reporting dashboards, and so many more. The last thing that they need is yet another standalone portal, even if it drives that value, if it is still focused on held away insights. And we thought about it a lot, and this was a great feedback, right? And that's where we brought in that innovation. We asked, instead of asking advisors and home offices to adopt a new tool, we asked, what if these crisp, summarized, held away insights could be delivered directly inside platforms that advisors currently use? In most firms today, and you saw that in the survey too, they have some form of a client management portal today. And by embedding these insights that we generate into those existing systems, advisors get to see that entire set of insights, both held and held away, in one single place. And so if you think about it, this whole approach of seeing everything that you need to know about your client in one single place. I love again Gerard's example of Mike, right? Not only do you need to, every time you want to go talk to Mike, not just looking at how his portfolio that you're managing looks like, you also get to see everything that's happened, right? Everything in one single place. And this whole approach that we've reached today, it doesn't just benefit advisors. If you think about it, for the enterprise, for the broker dealers, the wealth firms, the enterprise level, it drastically reduces their engineering effort. All they're doing is they're merging the data set that we give them into their existing databases. No new portal, no complex integration tasks, easy, simple, and seamless. And that's something that we are really, really excited about. We've seen our clients that adopt this. Previously, every time we've had a product that had to go out, there's always integration challenges, right? There's always that learning experience. This whole Advisor Insights product, it cuts across all of those and reduces it significantly. And the icing on the cake is that the Advisor Insights product is not just focused on advisors. It can be leveraged by home offices, enterprises, and a lot more. And Gerard's actually got a couple of great examples of how enterprises also can use this particular product. G, over to you.
Perfect. Thank you. Yeah, no, I appreciate that. So let's try and connect the dots. We started with the visibility problem. Advisors see roughly half their client's financial picture. The other half remains invisible. It's a pretty sizable gap. But closing that gap transforms how the entire organizations compete. If we look at it, the value as far as it from an advisor perspective, it means better conversations, richer conversations, more timely conversations at better moments. You reach out proactively, not an annual review, and that deepens the relationship at scale. If we look at it, though, again, from all the advisors under the enterprise, so under that home office or that wealth manager or the bank, for home offices, it's much bigger. It's strategic intelligence across your entire client population. You see growth opportunities, right? Clients accumulating wealth, we're ready for premium services, segments primed for new platforms. You launch targeted campaigns with precision. You spot engagement moments, right? When clients change jobs, open new accounts, move assets, you can essentially deploy personalized nudges that direct them to through your portal or your app. And imagine if the client logs in and sees, we've noticed you stopped contributing to your 401k. This is a perfect time to connect with your advisor on potential gaps in your financial plan. Click here to contact Ashley. That is an organic inbound lead system powered by real client behavior. At the same time, you can also prevent attrition before it happens. Taking a look at some of those signals Suhas mentioned, one of them is large outflows, competitive threats, income changes. You spot those warning signs first and intervene in that approach. Growth, engagement, retention, all three of those things are happening and occurring simultaneously across your entire book of business. And really, if you think of it, here's the competitive advantage, or as I like to call it, the Advisor Insights flywheel. what it does, it creates signals that mean better conversations. Those better conversations mean stronger relationships, and stronger relationships mean deeper trust. We all know that. But deeper trust opens doors. It opens up those difficult doors for multi-generational planning, referrals to friends and family, succession planning, opportunities that really only exist when clients believe that you are truly seeing them and kind of meeting them at that moment that matters. And that's really more wallet share. It is more client lifetime value, and it is more stickiness. And we think really, I mean, as far as what Suhas and I were discussing earlier, a lot of the solution has formed over time in working with those partners, right? We're working with the largest banks and wealth management organizations in the world. We're already utilizing advisor insights. They're seeing higher retention, they're seeing faster growth, and advisors are closing more business. So while you're waiting for annual reviews to discover what's changed in your client portfolios, they're already moving. And they're deepening that relationship before you even know it changed. We at Yodlee are absolutely thrilled, and we believe this. We unfathomably believe this. Setting a new standard for the financial service industry, complete visibility into a client's financial life, powered by intelligent, hyper-personalized events. And that's what Yodlee Advisor Insights delivers. And that is how the leading firms compete in this new era of advice. Perfect. Oh, I think we're up for a poll now too, right?
I think we are pulled out.
We're pulled out. Oh, okay. I'm so
We
sorry.
made the audience work enough on this webinar, which we appreciate. But obviously this is incredibly revolutionary stuff, and so I think it would just be good to give folks a shout out. What are the easiest ways for firms and advisors to inquire about Yodlee's Advisor Insights?
Yeah, thank you, Shannon. So here's how you can move forward if you're interested. There's really a couple ways to explore Advisor Insights, 3 paths. First, you can schedule a demo, see how Advisor Insights works live with de-identified data. You can take a look and watch those signals emerge, and we can discuss how that would integrate into your advisor workflows and home office operations via the different delivery methods. This is really how you move from interesting to I want this. The second pathway is we have a 30-day pilot. So you pick a segment, let's say your highest net worth clients, your fastest advisor growing book, or your highest churn risk accounts. And we deploy with real stakes, measure engagement lift, and take a look at campaign performance and review retention impact. So you'll see those ROI signals quickly. And then the third approach, I prefer this one because I think a lot of firms have different problems and use cases and challenges they're trying to solve for, is joining our partner program. So we're co-developing use cases with the leading firms. A lot of what we've built out here is from clients asking us for, or thinking about hypothetical situations and how can you do this or can you do that, or are you able to anticipate this, or this is our challenge, right? Some mixed variables. So if you have those specific challenges, let's say you want to launch a crypto trading on your platform, which is really kind of happening right now. Stable coins and a lot of institutions are allowing you to trade crypto. Well, you may have 2 different segments, retail and premium, and you could take a look at high frequency traders and heavy holders, right? So a lot of options there, deposit flow, succession planning, we build it together. This is really for firms that want to own their competitive advantage. So ultimately, you pick the path that fits, or do all 3, demo to see what's possible, and pilot to prove it, and partner to own it. If you're already a Yodlee customer, you're also super welcome to reach out to your dedicated client partner, or you can reach out to Suhas and myself at our first last name at yodlee.com. You're also most welcome to connect with us on LinkedIn. What we believe is that your clients deserve advisors who know them, and your firm deserves intelligence to compete. Thank you, Shannon.
Absolutely. Put that on a t-shirt. That's a great tagline. And well done, Suhas. I know you're powering through with losing your voice. So thank you both just for a great dynamic presentation. So at the last 20 minutes or so here, I want to get into the Q&A portion of the presentation, put you both in the hot seat for a little bit. We had a couple more questions come through during the presentation, and I have some myself that I would also like to ask. And just as a quick reminder, today's slides are available for download. Just go into that resource list widget, and you can find all the resources in there. And if you're looking for CE credit, all the information for credit submittal are in that resource list widget as well. And yes, this will be on demand if you'd like to go back and listen. So I want to start with a couple questions here, just because I love myth busting when it comes to technology. What is one misconception advisors still have about data and insights that you would just love to clear up today? Maybe quell some fears here a little bit. Gerard, if you want to take that one.
Yeah. I'd say that your firm is likely serving up a bag of consumer insights to a degree, so spending insights. So they're already serving up to a degree insights. And at the same time, all firms have a different approach when it comes to working with consumers. You've got that fiduciary requirement, but just also know, as far as data privacy and rights, we're buttoned up on the Yodlee side. We've got a fantastic team that monitors everything. Connectivity is key. I mean, Suhas mentioned that, where we are the leader in open banking provider, so the OAuth connection. Lord Joe, I think I'm circling back on the question here, but yeah, no, absolutely.
I think just add that, G.
There you go. If you've got voice still, go for it.
Sure. I think it's probably going to be the last. I think one of the things that I've heard the most, Shannon, come through is advisors asking if these insights are too much, right? But the response is almost always no. Because as a client, G mentioned this and he touched upon this beautifully, no client is waking up assuming that I need to talk to my financial advisor. Right? They just expect that your advisor knows what's happening and is always thinking about you and is advising you on that. So none of these insights are ever too much. These are things that an advisor should know, and that's the gap that we're trying to bridge.
No, and I would agree, because look, we're used to it as consumers at this point, right? We are the product. You look at the retail space, they've been doing this for years. So it feels like finance is finally catching up to be able to serve up that hyper personalization that you talked about. So in your opinion, then, if we're having the same conversation a year from now, what should advisors expect to be doing differently because of better insights?
Oh, we would 100% want them to be more proactive. That whole movement away from reactive to proactive, that is what we want to see. That is what we are seeing with clients that have actually adopted advisor insights. And we want to see a lot more of that in the industry today.
Yeah, if you don't mind, I'll add to that. I think the proactive side is absolutely critical. And you're going to have systems and solutions that help you with that. They kind of monitor and catch, and it's your job, as the advisor, to provide that value. But in this day and age, you have to be proactive. We're in the midst of the greatest wealth transition in history. So there's significant amount of proactiveness and anticipatory advice that you need to be able to help with folks when it comes to generational and heir planning. Kind of to my point earlier, it's all about trust. And if you're meeting them in a timely manner and about the relationship and trust, it just opens doors. But again, it is all about being proactive. And so we help you with that.
Absolutely. And it's really become the expectation at this point, right? Like, clients are expecting their advisors to wear many hats. And so, like, you made that point that the firms that are going to win in the future are going to take this seriously and be proactive about their advice. I think that's a great point. But I want to touch on something you mentioned around the great wealth transfer that's happening, because as the wealth transfer to the next generation accelerates, how could this tool help, advisors connect with the children of their current clients, if at all?
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
think it is strategy and
Yeah, please go
sorry.
for it.
um, I think my mind first goes to the whole large inflow insight. Right? If you think about it, there is really no time and place when all of these are happening. And so when that transfer happens, ideally what you want is your advisor to be able to reach out to you. Because when that transfer is happening, most of what we've heard, most of the folks in this generation, me included, are not necessarily thinking, oh, I should immediately call my financial advisor. You're already thinking about trying to do it on your own, trying to get your friends to advise you, and so on. And being there almost near real time and advising your clients, that I think is real key. GL, do you want to hop on that?
No, I think that's spot on. Yeah, really great point there. I think it's just very timing and proactive to it. Yeah.
Absolutely. So, a couple Yodlee specific questions that came in. First one being, do you connect with banks in Canada and the US?
Big yes, we do.
Big
And
yes.
if you want, we have some information that we can share with you on that. We're actually doing quite a bit of expansion in Canada, but we've been in Canada for a number of years. Yeah.
All right, good to know. And another question we got was, I have Yodlee as part of my money guide subscription. Can I access what was discussed today? Should I have a separate Yodlee login?
Great question. This is so you don't necessarily need to log in, as we were talking about one of the delivery methods. We can work with the home office and the enterprise, and they can deliver that in multiple mediums to you. If this is essentially such as a flat file, if it's pushing it most of the time in what we think is CRM systems are more ideal, the most ideal avenues to be able to do so.
And I think maybe there was a little confusion around this, so just clear it up for folks. Got a couple questions around, can you connect advisors to retail banking clients?
I think the easiest way to sue us is probably just the example of I am the advisor. I've likely got a financial planning tool or system that I'm using, and I work with my client going through their financial plan. Then you'll have connectivity, and in that planning stage, I will mention to my client, hey, go ahead and there's a button over here, click it, link your outside accounts, those held away accounts, and that brings in total visibility. So you, the advisor, would be able to identify all of your relationships within Yodlee. And then the firm could either manage that for you or provide that to you and deliver all those insights directly to you. Hopefully that helps answering the question.
Great. Well, good news is we already had an audience member submit for a demo. So they're asking to please follow up post-webinar. But before we get to that, a couple more questions for you all. Often questions around implementation come up, especially when utilizing new tools. So we have a question around that. What would the lift look like for our tech team to get this up and running? And do you have an estimated integration timeline?
Yeah. So you're welcome to go. I know it's very minimal though.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm trying to save up my voice and I think this is the question for it. It's, to be very honest, that integration is super simple. Because what we're doing, and Chirag touched upon this, is we are no longer offering a platform or a portal. All we're doing is we're giving you that data in a way that's very easily consumable by you. So do you like it in a flat file, a CSV, a Parquet? Do you like it in a Snowflake account on the cloud? We are pretty flexible that way. Integration is essentially very simple because all you're doing is you're getting a flat file from us and you're just merging it with the data that you have. So most often we've seen that under 3 months, we've seen our clients put this into production.
Well, 3 months is impressive.
And
yes,
that's more on their end. There's their side with all the integrations and if there's mapping and who's touching what. But yeah, the lift on our side for you to be able to consume that is very, very minimal. But yeah, so Suhas's point, 3 months gives a lot of the infrastructure teams at the home offices the ability to make sure everything's checked off.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like then obviously to be able to utilize this solution, then firms really need to have their data strategy in place because, firms that want that faster ROI, what's that one thing they should do before rolling out new data-driven solutions like this?
The answer is most folks already have this. Most institutions already have a portal. They already have a data strategy. At least in my experience, I don't think we've met firms that don't have. There is no way you don't have a data strategy in
That's
today's
encouraging.
day. Yes. Uh, and so when it comes to firms like that, we work with their engineering teams. Like while rolling this entire thing out, we worked with teams and firms of different scale and different sizes in different journeys, at different layers in the journey of the whole data space. And so we are able to understand where they're at and work with the teams to better integrate and faster integrate this.
Great. And I loved the 401k example. That was extremely compelling. But even beyond retirement accounts, what other hidden assets can advisors uncover with this tool?
Yeah, I think it depends on your approach, right? Your personality and your relationship with the client. There is a slide there with that we'll send out that has a couple of the signals or events on there, but the use cases are pretty endless. And honestly, if you can come up with ideas on events that you're looking to acquire that is in, I think the majority of the time, transactional data, you're going to be able to get that 360 picture pretty quickly. That helps answer a bit of that. But thinking of some other examples, I did like the example because it was a firm that reached out to us. You had in the news the last couple months on the crypto side, for example. I know it's a very sensitive topic. You had Jamie Dimon, kind of the biggest naysayer as far as blockchain, reverse the course. So, what we're seeing in the news for a lot of partnerships and whatnot. But you're seeing a lot of banks and wealth managers and broker dealers starting to offer their users the ability to trade and buy and sell crypto. What they don't have is visibility. They have zero idea for those held away relationships, portfolio allocation, how frequently they're trading. And if you're looking to roll out, say, crypto trading for the very first time, buy and sell Bitcoin, whatever it might be, you as your marketing team would really want to understand who are your, I would say, premium traders, usually heavy net worth, investable assets, understanding frequency of trades, ETFs, types of securities, crypto tickers that are being traded. And you could roll out, we could identify that for you, and you could roll out a premium and retail offering. And it might be, hey, Shannon, we noticed that you are a crypto fanatic. We'll say enjoyer, right? We'd love to, we just rolled out crypto trading on our platform. We'd love for you to be one of our first users. If you open an account with us, we'll give you $50 in Bitcoin. So, that's one case, but we can take a look at your entire population, take a look at your marketing needs, your targets, your strategies. What are your goals? Where maybe you have some really glaring challenges that you're finally needing to solve for. So I think Suhas and I are in that kind of, honestly, with the initial conversations, we're always trying to get the firms to think past their current reality, because this is really, really new and to the industry, and it's going to set the pace. So understanding where you're at and what, you're kind of constructed to this box of what's normal, think outside the box. It is very, very limitless. And there's a lot of ways to just better engage with clients that maybe you meet with once a year if they're lucky. So a lot of opportunities in that realm. And that's kind of how we think of it, as the growth, the engagement, and the retention aspects too.
Great advice. I love that. Think outside of the box. I know just a couple minutes left, so a few more questions for you all. Um, how can Yodlee help ensure more accurate transaction categorization so advisors aren't spending time cleaning up messy or inconsistent data? Because that is obviously a time suck at a lot of firms.
Suhas, you're the data scientist. Go for it. If you have a
So
voice.
yeah, it's to be honest, Shem, that's a very simple problem. It's simple because we've been doing this for the longest period of time. We have a really solid transaction data enrichment, investment data enrichment modules that does this for you. And we have such levels of categorization that you can start off at a very high level and go down all the way to the lowest granular categories. And we are already doing that. And we're most of the stats that we have is that our precision when it comes to categorization is over 98%. And that's how good we are. And simply because we were one of the first few into the space, and we've been constantly refining over the last few years.
Yep. And thanks, Suhas. We won a significant award, Yodlee did, for the level of intelligence with AI and transaction data enrichment in 2024. So if you're out there asking this question, you're having challenges. If you're a Yodlee client, let your client partner know, I want to talk about transaction data enrichment or investment data enrichment. So this is really our bread and butter, so to say.
Love it. And then last one for you guys, because going back to personalization, look, firms can tend to overcomplicate personalization. It's obviously top of mind for everyone. Clients are expecting that Amazon or Netflix experience, and everyone's scrambling again to be proactive around their insights. So, instead of worrying about overcomplicating it all, where should firms start instead? Is it just using Yodlee?
Yeah, I mean, Suhas started off with it strong. The first point in any practice, I think, is discovery. And the only way you're able to discover is if when you're going through that planning approach and you're sitting down with your client for the first time, or maybe it's a follow-up meeting, it's always encouraging them to, look, I'm the advisor. My job is to literally give you the best financial advice based on the goals that you're trying to achieve. And I can only see half your picture. So what I'm encouraging you to do is link and connect those accounts. And so, yes, part of the answer is, yeah, if you go with Yodlee, we are a premier data aggregator, as Suhas said, to 8 of the top 10 wealth management firms and 14 of the top 20 banks in the country. So we have been doing this a long time, and we have seen every problem out there in the woodwork, and we've been solving for them for 25 years. So the connectivity side of it, that's that really entry point. And then once you have that, there's a lot of options as far as serving up consumer insights, being able to help them with moving money or opening up a new accounts. We do the full gamut end to end, serving these financial institutions out there.
Well, I think that is an excellent place then to end it, because we have actually, unfortunately, run out of time. But I would like to thank Gerard Kasha and Suhas Xavier. Just thank you for an outstanding presentation, and to Yodlee for making today's webinar possible. Again, if we didn't get to your questions, our speakers have graciously said that they will follow up post-event, and they'll be sure to check out that inquiry around a demo. Just a quick note, once you leave the event, a short survey will pop up in your browser window. And look, we just appreciate it if you'd share your feedback on the event, as it helps us to provide you with the most interesting content for you in the future. And on behalf of wealthmanagement.com, thank you all for tuning in, participating in the polls, and have a great rest of the day.
Thank you, everyone.